Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Thoughts on the Round Table. It's been a sweet second. I'm not going to lie to you. We're starting a new semester here in a few days. Actually, probably not by the time you watch this, but we're recording this before the semester in hopes to change the habit that we got into of not doing anything.
You know what they say, new year, new me. And I think that's kind of the mantra we might take with this podcast.
Last year was really hard. Work-wise, I guess you could say. School really burned me out every day. Every day I had classes, I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work. And even though this doesn't seem like work, and once I get back in the swing of it, I'll be like, this isn't work. But at the time you think, okay, it's something that I have to do that isn't watching a movie or playing video games. So I should be able to get back into it, though. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think that we're going to try. Now, don't hold us to this because you have no power over us. We're individuals.
Sure.
But we're going to try to do one a week. Maybe Mondays.
That's what the plan is.
And so get ready. At least I would say probably to the first 3, we'll hit it.
Yeah.
If we make it till 4, you can expect it. If we miss 4, just give up.
Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard with how much work we have going on. But yeah, I think we should be able to this time. I'm kind of hyped for it. I want to get back into it. I missed it.
Yeah, I've also really missed it. And I think the perfect movie to start us back on this little bit of a film review journey is something we watched last night. A film, dare I say it, that rivals that of the Titanic.
Yeah, I think this is quite possibly already a top 5 movie ever made.
Yeah.
Casablanca, Maltese Falcon, The Godfather, Goodfellas, Monster Hunter.
I can't argue with it. You know, I went into that movie theater. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be completely honest. I said, there's no way I come out of this movie enjoying myself. And I don't know if I could have been more wrong.
It was beautiful.
It was a gorgeous film.
Usually we like to start with the plot, but unfortunately that doesn't apply to this movie.
Because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it was really just non-stop action. So let's talk a little bit about my favorite part, the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Our main character didn't catch her name.
Yeah, I don't think she had one.
I feel like as the podcast has gone on, and as I have gone on as a person in general, I can understand movies. I can pay attention better. I actively watched this movie and didn't catch her name. That's a problem.
No, I think it was almost intentional. Did you catch anyone's name?
Yeah, like 2 people. Dash and...
Who was Dash?
The girl. The other girl, not the main character. One of her army people.
Oh, she was the one who was afraid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were like, don't be afraid. There's only giant spiders.
There's only giant fucking monsters.
Yeah. And then, who was the other one? Marshall.
Marshall, yeah.
He was
yeah.
the sniper.
Yeah.
The...
Can we talk, first off, I know we're talking about the characters already on a tangent. I don't know if maybe I just haven't paid attention or haven't watched very many modern war movies, but like, he had like the AUG from CSGO and was shooting it like a character like in a video game. And I don't know why, but every time I laughed. Like, I don't know if that's how snipers in the real world work. He was like no-scoping.
Yeah, he's just like he's essentially quick scoping with with a sniper. Which now I'm not a genius here.
No,
but I don't think that's how it works, right? I thought that snipers they have to like aim up, and they usually have a spotter who checks the wind. Because like there for a little bit, here's another tangent. There for a little bit, I was really into like army training videos. There was like a series on Discovery where it talked about all the different branches and the different branches of branches and how they trained. And one of them was sniping. And the spotter's job was almost harder than the actual sniper. Because they had to give like an exact distance.
Maybe it was because, in this case, right, it wasn't like a small target. Like he was no-scoping giant...
Diablos.
Yeah, giant monsters. And when I say giant, I mean, you'll see the movie, right? I hope. I pray.
I cannot recommend it.
You see the first monster and you think, oh, so that's really big. That's a big monster. And then you see the second one, you're like, oh shit, that's bigger.
Yeah.
That's so much bigger than the first one. How did they even do that? And then you get to the third monster, because there are like 3 boss battles in this game. And I say boss battles in game because this is not a movie.
No.
It's almost like an ethereal experience. It's almost like you've transcended into a different realm of existence and you're only existing. That's your only purpose while watching this movie. You're not thinking, you're not nothing's going on in your brain. You're just in a room and the movie's in front of you and you're there and that's it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it was a different kind of experience.
Yeah. The 2 other important characters there are 3 on my mind. You have the person from the world that she just entered that she meets, whose name I also don't know. But we'll call him Hunter, because that's what she called him.
I think that's a class on the game. I think that's what it is.
And that would make sense why hers was Ranger.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of makes sense, but we'll just go with Hunter. You know, he's got a big bone bow, it looked like, which was cool.
Yeah.
The weapons in this movie were cool. I'll just call it what it is. They were cool. They were interesting. They didn't make any sense, but they were cool.
If you slap the 2 swords together, you got Fireball.
Yeah.
Which is pretty epic.
And then there's a spear with lightning.
Yeah.
Toward the end. Anyway. He was funny. He mispronounced things. It was funny because he didn't speak English. It was funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was funny. He's funny.
Yeah, is that it?
They tried to make him have comic relief, and they failed, which made it better.
This is one of those movies where you go into it, right? And you end up doing exactly what the filmmakers want you to do for entirely the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Like they said, I want this scene to be funny. I want it to be comedy. And they failed so horrendously that it becomes even funnier than if they executed it perfectly.
True. It was great. Every time he did his smile, it was supposed to be like, oh, that's cute, ha ha ha. But it was like, oh my gosh, that's so poorly timed. Yeah, he was cool. I liked him. Let's talk about the person we meet next, the guy who speaks perfect English but isn't from that world.
Yeah, so I think this is when we got to talk about the main point of the movie, and that's that, I guess, it's parallel worlds, right? Mm-hmm. So there's Earth 1, which is the Earth we're on, which is, Army Earth, and like where we have helicopters and presidents and all that stuff. And then there's Earth 2, where we are cavemen and have sand boats and also fight monsters.
/ dinosaurs.
Yeah. And on Earth 2, there is an advanced ancient civilization. Now stop me if you've heard this trope before. But there's an advanced civilization that got destroyed by technology. And so, this dude, I guess, is like a scholar / sandboat captain.
That's what I got.
And he studied the English language.
He also had some great sideburns.
Yeah.
And great hair. He looked like an anime character. But in real life, it was cool. I don't watch anime. I don't want it to come off like I do. And that made it sound like I do. So, before anyone gets any ideas, don't recommend me anime. I won't watch them.
I think what was hilarious, this is a total tangent. We're in the theater, right? And COVID theaters are a little bit funny, right? Because there are not a lot of people there. Maybe usually on a packed theater, you'd have 8 other people. From my experience. And we go to pretty big theaters.
Right.
And so this one was not packed because it was fucking Monster Hunter.
Sure.
And we were Dolby also in Dolby.
Yeah. Which is $20 a ticket. We didn't pay for it though.
Yeah. We're Plus members. A-list members.
AMC A-list.
So we get 3 free movies a week, and so if it's in Dolby, might as well. But there were patrons in there who paid $20 for a ticket to Monster Hunter, which I think is a really commendable sacrifice.
It was funnier than the movie.
Yeah. I think that paying $20 to see Monster Hunter is akin to sacrificing your kidney. or something for like a dying child in terms of nobility.
I appreciate you keeping theaters alive by buying the most expensive ticket. Yeah, but there's a guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's the pre-Dolby screen, which like shows you the difference between Dolby and regular, and it goes black, and it's like it is a dark black in this guy's defense, but it went really black, and he's like, "Wow, you can really tell the difference." And I laughed out loud. Pierce laughed. The guys next to us, like 2 seats down, they started laughing. It was perfect. It couldn't have been funnier. It made me laugh.
This guy had quite the remarks all throughout the movie.
Sure.
He was old, so it was cute. But like at one point in the movie, right, we're talking about this old character, like the human character who speaks English. Our main protagonist, unnamed female army soldier, is like captured and held in the brig of a sand boat. And she escapes and is like sneaking down in the lower levels of the boat. And then she like looks up and there is, now brace yourselves, buckle your seatbelts. There's a humanoid cat who is chopping like food. And at the point where the cat showed up, the man in the front of the theater who was making these comments just like loudly was like, "Ha! A cat!"
It was funny though. The cat was big.
Yeah,
he was making food. It's funny because he's a cat.
Yeah. Where were we going with this?
I don't know. We were talking about. I just had the anime quote because the guy was like, that was the last character was the cat.
Yeah, no, but I was going back to the anime.
Yeah.
We saw an anime commercial in a theater. Now, I had never had this experience before. But it might have been the strangest thing of my life.
Sure.
Theater-wise. It was, Japanese anime, and I get that, and I respect that. That's awesome. To a point. But, like, it's one of those animes where, like, you look at it and you're like, oh, like, that's really weeb,
Yeah.
Like, that's not, like, something I could really get into because it was, like, all that, like, high-pitched, like, child screeching. Which, like, if you like that, go to hell. It might need
It was just, I don't know. The best part about the commercial wasn't even that it was anime, but it looked like it was edited in Premiere Pro with Premiere Pro text.
Yeah.
It might have been Source Sans Pro on there.
I think it might have been Source Sans Pro, but like they cranked up the stroke on it, like to a point where like it was kind of like chunky on the outside. Yeah. It was bad.
It was hilarious.
I laughed a lot.
Yeah, it was cool. This movie, though, let's get back to.
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk about the monsters, too.
Okay.
And how they looked bad.
Did they?
Yeah. They didn't look great.
Yeah, no, they didn't look bad.
Well, let's talk about the first one, Diablos. He's our first fellow we meet.
Mm-hmm.
He looks big. His arms didn't look like they made sense.
It was like a sandworm off Dune.
Yeah.
But with, like...
Horns
and giant muscular arms.
They looked like they shouldn't have done anything, too.
Yeah. It was like they like combined a snake's body with a gorilla's arms.
Yeah. And the arms like kind of acted like T-Rex arms most of the time because he didn't grab anything, did he?
No, he just kind of like angrily like pounded.
Yeah, and used his horns to attack things. He also broke his horn off, poor guy. That would have really hurt him. Do you think the horns are worth stuff like elephant tusks are?
I would imagine.
Or rhino horns?
I would imagine that in that universe, it's probably like ivory. Except like probably more expensive because, you had to kill Diablos. Which would be difficult, right? Because he's impervious to bullets and can only be slain with a knife.
And poison. That really didn't do anything.
The poison made him sleepy, Jacob.
We talked about this on the way home.
Yeah.
One of the big struggles of the movie was getting the poison from the spiders to poison Diablos.
Yeah.
I don't think it did anything.
They shot the So, okay. The plan. Let's go over the plan, right? Gotta kill Diablos. For some reason. That's reason's not explained to you as the audience.
It is.
It is?
They can't pass. without killing him.
Where are they going?
To the tower.
Okay. Gotta get to tower. Gotta kill Diablos because Diablos is in the way of tower, right?
Yep.
How do you kill an impervious creature? They say, oh, let's poison him with the stinger from the big spiders. So a big portion of the movie, like Jacob said, is like getting the stinger. And then they strap the stinger to an arrow and fire it at his eyeball. And it really does nothing.
It just makes his eye swell up. And he, like, shuts it. And pus squirts out.
But, like, did it affect the way that he fought?
No. I don't know. If you cared about, like, if the demon or creature or whatever had eyes that were important.
Mm-hmm.
Like a chameleon, its eyes are important to see and stuff, so, like, you know? But the eyes didn't feel like they were important.
I feel like almost more important would be, like, his horns or his giant ape arms.
Or his heart to keep it beating.
Well, I really also... How did they kill it?
They shoved the sword through its brain.
Okay, so they did the brain kill, not the heart kill.
Yeah.
So it looked like it was just like...
It looked like it shouldn't have gone, like, proportion-wise. The sword didn't... I mean, the sword was abnormally big, right?
Everything in this was big.
Right? But, like, it didn't seem like it would have worked in proportion-wise. They must have just poked his brain just a little bit. And he's like, oh,
Ugh.
I'm dead.
I feel like this movie was made for those people who, like, jack up their trucks. You know? Like, this movie is made for people who are, like, are compensating for something.
Wave the Confederate flag. We're going to see Monster Hunter.
Honey, get my gun. We're going to see Monster Hunter.
Yeah, this movie had zero plot, and that's why it was so good. Let's talk about the second monster.
Okay.
Because that's the only part of the plot was killing monsters. I don't know how to describe well, I guess we'll just talk about, like, the second part of the advancement of the movie, which is going to the jungle. And it had a real funny scene.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, can I drink this water? And he's like, yeah. And then, like, a lizard demon pops out from his head and tries to kill her. And he cuts its head off. And he looks at her and he goes, bait. Everyone laughed. The theater erupted in laughter. Oh, wait. No, it didn't because it was stupid.
It erupted from laughter from one section in particular. And that was the section me and Jacob were sitting in. The only people who laughed in that movie, I think the entire time, was me and Jacob. And the old man.
Even the parts that were, like, just so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. They also tried to build her character without, like, doing anything. Namely, giving her a wedding ring that had engraved forever on the inside. But, like, no mention of if she's married, if it's hers, the other person's. Also, I'm no wedding ring expert, but I did just get one. And I don't think many have forever engraved in the middle.
It seems like almost redundant. Like, it would be like, imagine like a roll of toilet paper, but like engraved like for shit on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
like,
isn't that the whole point of the wedding ring? It's infinite. It doesn't end.
That's the whole point of the wedding ring. It's like a TV, but it just says for watching. It's like, yeah, I know, I got
it. Every time you turn on the light bulb, you hear to see.
The most absurd part about it is, like, they were for real, like, concerned. They're like, you know, if we just show a wedding ring, you think people will get it? Like, maybe we gotta write, like, forever on here just to, like, know that it symbolizes that. But, like, that was it. That was the only thing they explained. But they didn't explain it in context of anything.
Yeah.
They're just like, guys, this is what a wedding ring means. And now let's fight more monsters.
Yeah. So they kind of go through the jungle, but a stampede starts because the forest is burning by a dragon. And so these people on a ship come.
Mm-hmm.
And he slams his hammer on the ground and fire electricity flows throughout. And yeah, they survive, and then they get on the ship, and then we meet our friends.
Well, I think before we go there, we've got to go back to just an incredibly like iconic scene because it just made me like squirm laughing. Like, you know those points where sometimes you just have to laugh and sometimes like your whole body kind of shakes because it was so unexpected. After there's this epic scene of the guy, like Jacob said, he slammed his sword on the ground, fire came everywhere. Then she like hit her swords together and there was fire and they were all warding off these actual dinosaurs. Anyways, they finally got safe and she was like, "Thank you." And then he just looked at her and was like, "Don't thank me yet," and then fucking socked her.
Yeah, right in the nose.
Like, in this movie, there is no point in time where you ever feel relaxed.
No, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go on the ship, they meet the cat, he's cool, meow, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, "Hey, apparently you're a good person," to our protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "This is true." And so they're like, "Come with us. We're going to close the portal and get you back home." And she says, "Okay." And so they do, and they start fighting this dragon, and she falls into the portal and goes back. And she's like, "Yay, I'm rescued." And so the army comes, and they're like, "Hey, let's get out of here." And she's like, "Okay, don't mind if I do," you know?
Yeah.
And but it's not over because the dragon goes through the portal, and she's like, "This is not good." And she's the only one who survives, but the dragon kills the rest of the army.
Yeah, like everyone in the army. Like 2 helicopters, about 40 trucks.
A plane, like a full plane.
Yeah, the dragon lands on top of it and rips its wings off, and then the plane spirals down like a torpedo.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was quite awesome. You know, there's people who were like really upset that Man of Steel killed like an entire city in the in-scene fight between Superman and Zod. They would hate this movie because everyone in this movie dies constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, including the main characters. I thought our friend was dead in the first 10 minutes of the movie. 3 times, probably. It really was a video game because she kept responding.
Honestly, she probably should have died upwards to 50 times during the movie.
You're right.
If she was... I guess the unintended side effect of crossing over the worlds is that your bones transform into, I don't know, steel.
Titanium?
Yeah. You can't break your bones anymore. And your skin also becomes like a leather couch. You know,
because it rarely cuts.
No. Yeah.
I mean, you have to really give it like a huge sword.
Like a huge sword. Like as big as a plane.
Yeah. What?
Another interesting point about this movie is just how it's shot in general. Like, you know, normal movies, you see like, oh, you know, let's take an action scene. It's pretty standard in the movie industry to label action scenes with excessive jump cuts as poorly done, confusing, could cause motion sickness.
You're kidding.
Just lazy.
Yeah.
Are words I've heard people describe it as. This movie says, what if we just did that, but every single shot in the entire movie has at least a subtle zoom? And you might be thinking, what? Is that even, like, possible? And then, like, I challenge you to go and watch this movie. Every single shot is zooming in.
It's perfect.
You know, if I ever didn't know what to look at in a scene, the camera would zoom in directly to what I needed.
I also like how they would zoom in on not like a steady cam. Because as you zoomed, it would shake.
It's almost like the zooming wasn't done on the actual, like, recording. You know, it wasn't like someone's, like, the cinematographer, the DOP was on the camera and, you know, zooming in, zooming out for dramatic effect. It's like he put it in a Premiere profile and he checked his little keyframe on scale and then just bumped it to 150 and then copy pasted that on every scene in the entire movie. Awesome.
It was cool. It definitely didn't give you a headache at all.
No.
It made everything clear, smooth. It never made me not understand what was going on. I'm glad it held my hand throughout.
Yeah. I'm just thankful. I also like, especially when they're driving, is really entertaining because every small, minute action that you do when you're driving is captured in its own shot. So, if you were to ever, I don't know, turn on, like, just for example, like turning on the air conditioning, it would have about 3 shots. You'd have your establishing shot of you sitting, like, looking at the air conditioning. Then it would have a shot of, like, your hand reaching over. Then an extreme close-up zoom on your hand as you twisted the air conditioning.
The one I'm thinking of as an example is when they would shift gears.
Yeah.
It was like, gear shift, grab, pull.
And all be different angles.
Yeah.
And you're never confused. And it's not like it's slow either. Like, it's like these angles. Like, I don't think that there was a camera movement that lasted longer than 1 to 2 seconds.
Yeah. It was great.
Perfect.
I want to talk a little bit about this movie to wrap up. I think that even though we are just making fun of this movie, I enjoyed it, right? Not every movie has to be terribly good / serious. This one was fun. You could turn your brain off, sit on the edge of your seat. The adrenaline was pumping, for as silly as it was.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
No, I did too.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes people get caught up in, like, every movie has to have meaning and be serious and have to tell a good story. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There are bad books that are like trash for you to just read and relax. This is one of those. Don't take it seriously. Don't give it a 3 out of 10, IGN. I'm calling you out. Speaking of ratings, this movie is rated only 0.2 stars less on IMDb than Wonder Woman 1984. Kind of wild.
I mean, that just makes you think about, Wonder Woman 1984 as a movie.
Yeah. I think that's a reflection more on it than this.
Yeah. I do agree. Like, a lot of movies, people, like, grade movies on a checklist, on, like, a rubric. And they don't change the rubric based on the genre or the intended audience.
Right.
Which I don't think should be possible. I don't think the guy, I don't think it's comparable to compare Monster Hunter to, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or any serious film ever.
Yeah.
You can't give it a 3 out of 10 because it lacks the emotional depth that you got in Titanic.
You shouldn't compare, like, when I talk about books, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say I have 3 categories. Fiction, fiction with meaning, nonfiction. This would go under the fiction category.
Yeah.
You can't compare Tarkin, the Star Wars novel, to Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't ever meant to be great literature. This movie wasn't ever meant to be a great of cinema, like The Godfather was. So, don't take it too seriously.
Just enjoy the ride. Because, let me tell you, it is a ride. You feel older when you get out of the theater. Like, by a factor of maybe 1,000 years. It's like you spent an entire day at an amusement park.
It was great. Can't recommend it enough. Go see it in theaters. And with that, thank you for coming back and listening to us. It's been a while. Now we're back.
We've got a lot of new movies to cover, which means that for the foreseeable future, there will be some decently new content coming out.
Sure.
So, that's pretty epic.
So, our next movie we're going to talk about, to give you guys a little heads up, so we can talk. Obviously, this one included spoilers. This next one's going to include spoilers. We're talking about Wonder Woman 1984. We know we're a little late to the party, but, it's a superhero movie. We like superhero movies. Let's talk about it.
We mentioned it a little bit, actually, in this podcast, but if you're looking for a favorable review of Wonder Woman 1984, you're probably not going to get it here.
Yeah. Go somewhere else. Just kidding, don't. But,
yeah, actually, kind of listen to it.
Yeah,
so
we work hard on these.
I appreciate it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next Monday, and before we go, I'd like to plug my Twitch just because I've been streaming on there more and more. So twitch.tv/cataract. It'll probably be in our description.
Yeah, you should definitely go check it out. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.